All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. This is actually most of the people signed up. We got a few other people that may come in. There's Jeannie's coming in. We usually take the first 5 minutes just to give people a chance to get their technology working and get into the class in case they had another class that ran over. If anybody wants to show their picture that isn't, it's down in the bottom left where it says start video. You're not required to show your video. If you would like to, we'd love to see you. So let's go ahead and officially start the class. My name is Wade Yarbrough, and I'll be the guide for this class on understanding and using Apple's iCloud. Before we get started, I've got a couple of housekeeping issues. First, the session is being recorded. That is primarily for internal quality control purposes, but any participant can request a copy of that recording, and I'll go over that at the end of class for anyone that doesn't know that process. Also, there's no marketing or other financial relationships between Apple and GetSetup. We are purely trainers. All of our revenue comes from our training activities. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to get started. I'm going to get your pictures arranged first so I can see everybody. Right. I'm going to go ahead and mute everyone. We're all at home and things happen, sometimes unexpectedly. So go ahead and mute. So just remember when you have a question to go ahead and unmute yourself so that I'll hear you and the other learners will hear you as well. I'll also open up a chat window in case anyone's microphone is not working. I know Carter's isn't. If anybody else is having trouble, you can put your questions in the chat. But if your microphone is working, please just go ahead and unmute and ask your question. It's easier for me to hear those and respond. Sometimes I miss things, especially if there's a lot of activity in the chat. Okay, so I think we are ready. Let's go ahead and see what's on the agenda for today. So by the end of this class, you should be able to understand cloud storage terms and concepts, understand iCloud and its component parts, know how to back up your devices to iCloud, know how to move apps and data into iCloud, and finally know how to access iCloud from multiple device types, your own plus other people's devices. A lot to cover, so let's get started. We're going to start with talking about cloud storage generically, and then we'll drill down into Apple's version of cloud storage. You probably all remember back prior to cloud storage, if you created a document on your laptop, you would save it to your laptop, to the C drive if you're a Windows person, which I am. You could copy it over to a thumb drive or a CD, but everything was physically connected to your device. What the cloud has done is it's opened things up now. So instead of being connected to your device, you can actually store things in the cloud, separate from your device, which means you can get to things in the cloud from other devices as well. That's the magic of the cloud. We'll beat that one to death, but we'll talk about that one a good bit later. But that's basically how they work. This is the cloud. Obviously, it's not a real cloud. It is a data center owned by the cloud service provider. And so your data and my data are in one of these disk drives attached to one of these computers in this huge data center maintained by a lot of computer science professionals that understand security and operations and keep things running smoothly for the most part. There are 4 primary cloud storage providers. There are a lot more than that, but there's 4 that really are dominant in the area. Dropbox was one of the original ones. Dropbox isn't affiliated with any other software. You know, their only business is cloud storage. And then the 4 major software providers, Google has Google Drive, Microsoft has OneDrive, and Apple has iCloud. So they provide software as well as cloud storage. A lot of similarities among the 4. They all have the same basic core competencies, but there's a lot of additional things layered onto that by these 3. So benefits of cloud storage. Why do people love cloud storage? Why of all the major providers gone to cloud storage. You can save storage space on your devices. It's one of the first reasons for it. If your disk drive is getting full, you can move things from your device into the cloud to free up space on your device. Probably a bigger one is you can share and collaborate on documents with others. So since the document is living up here in the cloud, one person can be working on it here, one person can be working on it here, another third person, 3 or more people can be working on the same document at the same time. The software keeps track of who's made what changes, but it allows you to collaborate on working on devices, which has been a huge breakthrough. And then the last thing that's another big breakthrough is you can access your data from not only all of your devices, as well as public devices. So if I have an iPhone and a desktop and a laptop, I can access my data from any of these devices, but I could actually go to my friend's house and get on his laptop or the hotel computer where I'm staying or the public library and get to my data through a web browser. So it really opens up access to your data from pretty much anytime you're on a device that can access the internet, you can probably get to your cloud data. So that is huge as well. Questions about any of this so far? Some basic background material. Yeah, go ahead, Nancy.
If you had a meeting that you wanted to have the agenda or some documents that you all are working on, you all share, if you save it to the cloud, can like 6 to 10 people all be looking at those documents and working on them?
100 people
at the same time.
At the same time, yeah, because you're looking at the same document.
Okay,
the document's great. Living here, everybody's looking at the same version of it.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. And so if you type an edit to that document, I would see it real time. And if I type something, you would see it real time.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, that's huge. That's one of the big breakthroughs. There's 2 other terms I want to talk about. These are really important and they're confusing, and they're the ones that get people in trouble with cloud storage. First is backing up. This one everybody should be pretty familiar with. We've been doing that since the early days of computing. What backing up means is to take a point-in-time copy of your files, typically a whole device, your C drive. You can back up the entire C drive from your device to some other storage location. In the past, you would back up to floppy disk and then to CDs or DVDs, maybe to a thumb drive or even a separate hard drive. Now you can back up to the cloud, but it really is the same process doing the same thing. You're taking a point-in-time copy, putting it somewhere safe, and then if something happens to your device, you can pull that backup copy and restore it to your new device. You get a new laptop, you restore your information, and you're back going. You got some exposure, but whatever you did on your laptop between the time you did your point-in-time backup and when the laptop died, you would lose, but that's better than losing everything. So it pretty much restricted what you lost. So backing up is still the same process, whether I'm backing up to the cloud or backing up to a separate physical device physically connected to my computer. Everybody good with backups? With cloud services, we can do something else called syncing, which seems like it's the same, and it kind of is, but it's not. Syncing means to add, change, or delete files as activity occurs to ensure that all devices have an identical set of files. So this is a little bit what we were just talking about with Nancy. So if I create a document on this device and I'm saving it to the cloud, it goes to the cloud, it's immediately available to anyone else or me from any of these other devices. We can have people working on it at the same time, and anything that changes basically is changed on all these devices. This isn't 100% technically correct, but the best way to think about it and understand it is that the document isn't on this device, it's in the cloud. So if I change it from this device, it's automatically changed in what these other people are seeing. If I delete it from this device, it's not available in these devices either. I've deleted the one copy we were all sharing, so it's gone from everyone. That's the part that gets people confused. They think that the cloud is a backup. So they say, well, it's in the cloud, so I can delete it off my laptop and it'll still be in the cloud. No. If you're syncing and you delete it from any one of these devices, it's gone from all of those devices because all the devices were sharing a single copy that lived up here. If anybody deletes that one copy, it's gone for everybody. So people have lost a lot of data thinking it's backing up when it's really syncing. So you got to separate backing up from syncing. They're both cloud services, but they're very different services. Questions about syncing? No. Go ahead, Nancy.
How do they access it? Do I send it to them as an attachment and then they have it?
If you create this document and you want to share it with these two people,
Yeah.
you would send them an email that had a link to this one copy that's up here.
Okay.
So you're not sending them the document, you're sending them a link to the document, because remember, the document's living up here.
Okay, thank you.
So you're sharing a link, you're not sharing the document itself.
Okay, thanks.
So is there, how do you separate syncing with backup? Because I lost a lot of photos that I thought were going to stay on the cloud, but I found out they didn't. So how could I have avoided that and still freed up space on my device, but still had them in the cloud?
You can do both, and photos is one of the biggest topics. And in fact, we're going to talk briefly about photos in this class. There's a whole separate class on iCloud photos, because photos are a little different than the rest of iCloud. But you can do both, and a lot of people do. So maybe I've got an iPhone. In fact, this is what I do. I have an iPhone, and I use iCloud Photos to sync my pictures so I can get to it from my computer and from my iPhone. But I also back up my photos to Google Photos, which is a whole separate service over here. So that's my real backup. So if I delete something from my phone, it's gone from my iCloud, which is my syncing service. It's not gone from Google Photos, which is my backup service. So you can do both. So and then that other class goes into a lot more detail about how you would set that up and how that works.
So a Google account does not sync with your devices?
If you set it up as a backup, it doesn't. Again, this is where it kind of gets a little tricky. Conceptually, that's the answer. Setting it up is a little trickier. Well, that's another whole class, because it's more than we can cover in this class. But conceptually, that's what you're doing. You're backing up to Google. You're syncing with iCloud. I could do it the other way around. I could sync with Google and back up to iCloud. So that, implementation gets a little fuzzier. But conceptually, that's, and it's not just Google. There's other, you can back up your pictures to a lot of different services out there.
Like
Google,
Dropbox?
Google Photos is just one of the most popular ones.
So if you delete some pictures off of your iPhone because you don't want them all on your iPhone, then it would also be deleting them from your computer and your iPad and everywhere else?
It would indeed, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I had the same problem where I deleted, the storage was full on my phone. I sent the pictures to the iCloud, and now I've never been able to find them in the iCloud.
I'll use that.
Yeah, and you were breaking up a little bit.
For massager on your back.
Sounds like, and we're picking up a little bit of background noise. Let me mute everybody once again. But again, I don't want to dig too deep into this here or actually in this class, because this is why we did a separate class, because this whole class, we can't cover the material in this class and get into depth into photos, because photos are tricky. So we're going to talk about photos at the end of the class. So let's hold any photo questions to then. But I'm going to probably refer you to that other class. And it's a different instructor that knows that area better than I do. That's the reason I want to defer those questions to him. So let's go ahead and go through with the broader picture here. So we've talked about cloud services in general and how they work. Let's drill down to iCloud, and we're going to touch on all of those topics, especially syncing versus backup 15 times before we're done today. So hopefully some of your questions will be cleared up before we're done. If not, we'll have hopefully a little bit of time at the end of class to go a little deeper. But this is basically iCloud syncing all of your devices. So you've got information stored in iCloud, and all of your devices talk to iCloud and can pull and put data into the iCloud, as well as a Windows PC up here that isn't even an Apple device. It's not owned by you. This is that PC in your neighbor's house or at the hotel where you're staying, can still get to your iCloud to get to your information. I'll show you how to do that in a few minutes. So what is iCloud then? iCloud is Apple's cloud service umbrella, and it's got 4 basic components. And this gets a little confusing, so I'm going to try and make it as clear as I can. This is where iCloud is different than if you're just using Dropbox. Dropbox is basically the same as iCloud Drive. iCloud does a lot more things than Dropbox, and that's where some of the confusion comes in. So, but it has 4 main pieces. It has a backup for your devices where you can do a true backup. And it has 3 types of syncing services where you can sync your apps, you can sync your photos, and you can sync other documents. And we're gonna touch on each one of these 4 things in more detail before we're done with the class. This is how it looks, another way to kind of conceptually show this information, and we're going to come back to this slide multiple times to kind of keep our bearing. But again, iCloud isn't something in and of itself. iCloud is the generic term used for all these 4 categories of services within iCloud. So we're going to start with this part of iCloud backup. So that's the easiest to understand because that's something we've been doing already. So you can back up your Apple devices to iCloud. You can't back up non-Apple devices, but you can back up your iPhone, your iPad, your Mac. That way, if your device gets stolen, lost, damaged, you can go buy another device from Apple and use that backup to populate your new device and be back up and running in a very short period of time compared to how it used to be when you got a new smartphone or a new tablet. So how do you set up a backup? And we're going to be using an iPhone because that's the only Apple device that I have. It works very similarly with an iPad, slightly differently with a Mac, but in the email that's coming out after class, there's a document that shows you how to back up your Mac to the iCloud, since that is a little different. So we're going to go into settings. So if you're trying to follow along on your iPhone, you'll find your settings app and go ahead and touch that. And we're going to go into, we're going to touch your name right here at the top of the settings. And then we're going to touch iCloud, which is the first option down here when you get into the rows at the bottom. Then we're going to scroll down to iCloud backup. So these are all the different parts of iCloud. Those 4 parts are all included in here. For instance, there's photos. We're not going to talk about that now. So we're going to go down to the one that says backup. And it's right here. It's got that little teal background with the circle and the arrow. That's iCloud backup. That's the first piece we want to look at. So it'll tell you here if it's on or off, but you have to go in one level. Anytime you see the little arrow, that means there's more over there and you need to touch to go over there. So I'm going to touch iCloud backup. And this is where you turn it on and off. So if yours is green, that means you're currently backing up your phone to iCloud. If it's gray, that means you're not currently backing it up. You definitely need to be backing up somewhere. iCloud is a good place to back up. It's not the only place, but if you're not backing up somewhere, turn this on so you are getting a backup. It also has a backup now option here. And what this is that, let's say I break my screen and I take it into the shop to have them replace the screen. Before I hand that across the counter to the technician, I want to back it up now. So I know I've got a backup as of right now, and I don't lose anything. Right here, it says the last successful backup was yesterday at 10 p.m. That's usually when mine backs up. It usually backs up between 9 o'clock at night and 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. It automatically backs up daily. It doesn't back up the same time every day, but this will tell you the last time it was backed up. If I didn't do the backup now and I took my phone in here at 2 o'clock the next day and he broke my phone, everything that happened between 10 o'clock last night and 2 o'clock today, I would have lost. So that's the reason to do the backup now before you work on your phone or do anything that you think might damage your phone. Questions about backup? That one's pretty straightforward.
Can you say again where you got the backup part, the iCloud backup?
Yep. Where are you? Are you on this screen?
iCloud, yes.
Okay, so just scroll down. And it's right above iCloud Drive.
Got it, sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There's lots of stuff on the screens. It's easy to miss.
When you back up, are you actually transferring the data or copying the data? In other words, are you freeing up space on your device when you back up?
Nope, you're just making a copy.
You're just copying it.
Copying that data somewhere else in case you need it.
Right, okay.
Doesn't affect what's on your phone. Okay, so everybody's good with that one. We're gonna move on to the next one. That was the easiest one, but it's good to start with an easy one. The next thing we'll talk about is now this is the only backup. These are all syncing. So from now on, we're gonna be talking about syncing, not backing up. So I can sync my apps to the iCloud. It's the next thing we want to do. And I'm actually going to go right back to where we were. So if you haven't left, you can stay there. If you have, you can touch there again and go back into iCloud again. You should be on this screen. Everybody there?
Uh-huh.
And it basically says apps using iCloud here. And so these are all the apps that, and again, we ignore photos because we're going to talk about them separately. That's a whole separate piece. It's on the same screen. At the risk of sounding argumentative with Apple, I think they designed this screen poorly. I would have separated things out into those 4 functions, but they didn't, so we'll kind of deal with it. So everything below photos, these are the different apps that you have on your phone. And you can take that data and sync it to iCloud. And this will then take that off of your phone, put it in the cloud instead of on your phone. So this does save space on your phone. Probably more importantly, it allows me to access this data from any device. So if I sync my contacts to iCloud, and I've got an iPhone and an iPad and a Mac, I can, and I put a new contact into my phone, I'll immediately see it on my iPad, I'll immediately see it on my Mac, I'll immediately see it on the cloud. So that to me is probably more important than freeing up space, but it does both. So as you can tell, I've turned all of them on. I'm not sure why you would not want to back up everything or not want to sync everything to iCloud.
When I do my contacts, it says merge. Do I want to do that?
That probably means, do you have 2 Apple devices?
Yes.
So you probably, it's probably saying you've got separate contacts on the 2. Do you want to merge those together into one file? So okay. That would probably be a yes, unless there's some reason you want to have separate contacts on your iPhone versus your iPad.
No, I don't think so.
Yep, so I think that's what that's doing. I only have 1 device, so I haven't encountered that one. But that's what I think it's going to do.
So I have above these apps using iCloud, up in the iCloud storage, it tells me how much storage I have. And it's like 3/4 of it is messages. Okay. Are messages something that, I mean, you want to have them synced, right?
Yeah, and I'll talk about this later. I'll talk about it now, and then we'll skip it later since you kind of brought it up and it's right here in front of everybody. So this is where it's telling you how much iCloud space you've got.
Right.
And you get 5 gigabytes free. So you can see
Right.
I'm using 2.2 gigabytes of my 5 free gigabytes. And
Okay.
this is where it shows me what's taking up. And for mine, most of it is backup. Next is
Okay.
highest is photos. Yours would be different depending on what things you have and how you're backing, what you're syncing.
Right.
So yours said it's mostly messages.
Messages. Yes.
So yeah, so you've got lots of text messages, maybe some text messages that have some large attachments with them or something. What percentage of what's the total amount here?
I have 4.4 of 5 gigabytes used, and the majority is it of messages.
Yeah. And we'll talk about this a little bit later. So hold the rest of that off. But one short answer here is I would say that's fine. And if you get up to closer to 5, bump up your storage plan. And we're going to talk about storage plans later. So
Okay.
we'll come back to that.
Wait, just to clarify, I think you said items in this storage are in the iCloud instead of on the phone, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So they're synced into the cloud.
So they do not reside.
There's some part of the app is here. This is mainly the app data, and that's the reason I paused, because it's a little different depending on the app. But in general, conceptually, it's taking the data and putting the data in the cloud. The actual app itself is still on your phone and runs on your phone, so it sort of splits things up. But
so the app is just a means to draw it from the cloud.
Yeah, that's the best way to conceptualize it.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to save some space on the cloud, could I turn off some of the apps? And then if it was needed repair or something, would I still have those apps?
Yeah, you could, because again,
I don't know if that was very clear.
It was. Maybe I'm going to take this out of the order I normally do it in, because the conversation is kind of taking us down this road. Let's go ahead and go into manage storage. I'm going to click manage storage. And this, again, takes me into more details. I got the same picture here. And it breaks down. Before I just had the picture here, it actually tells me exactly how much each one of these is taking up. So I can see exactly how many gigabytes of backup is taking, how much photos is taking. But the more important thing here is change storage plan. So I'm going to touch change storage plan. So I'm using my 5 gigabytes. I have 5 gigabytes free. Let's say I was at 4.4. What I would do is just say, take me to 50 gigabytes for $1 a month. $1 a month, that's not even a cup of coffee. So for $1 a month, you can go from 5 gigabytes to 50. And you're probably, unless you have lots and lots and lots of pictures, it'll take you a long time to use up 50 gigabytes. And if you do, you can go to 200 for $3 a month, 1 cup of coffee a month, 300 gigabytes. So what I usually say is, don't worry about getting things off the cloud to free up space. Just bump up your plan, use the cloud. Certainly up to 50 gigabytes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Right. So let's move on. There's no. So that was apps. Apps, again, are fairly straightforward. And iCloud is where things get a little more confusing. And part of this is naming, again, because you've got iCloud, which refers to all this stuff. And then you've got iCloud Drive, which is just this thing. I wish they'd called it something else. I wish they called it Fred or anything other than something other than iCloud Drive, because it's a little confusing. People confuse iCloud and iCloud Drive, but we'll work with the name we got. This is what's equivalent to Dropbox or to OneDrive if you're a Microsoft person. Is pretty much what iCloud Drive is. So iCloud Drive allows you to securely store your files in iCloud and access them from a browser from your iPhone, from your iPad, from your Mac, from a Windows computer. You can get to it lots of different ways. And these are, if you're a Apple person and you use Apple's word processor and Apple spreadsheet and Apple's presentation, that's where all of those are stored automatically. So again, this is the most similar to Dropbox or OneDrive. You have to enable Cloud Drive, and we're still in the same place if you haven't left. Where my phone still is, it's where we've been all along. Scroll down, and it's about halfway down. There's iCloud Drive. This is where you enable iCloud Drive. So if you don't turn this on, you don't have access to it. If you turn this on, you have access to iCloud Drive. Let me show you the different ways you can access iCloud Drive after you've turned it on. So if you're a Windows person, you can access it from File Explorer. And if you're a Windows person, this will make total sense. If you're not, just kind of watch. But this is File Explorer. This takes you into your local device if you're a Windows person. So this, so here's my PC. There's my downloads, my documents, my pictures, everything on my physical computer. And then this is my OneDrive. So OneDrive is the Microsoft version of iCloud Drive. But I also can have iCloud Drive on here as well. So I can get to my iCloud Drive from Windows Explorer on any Windows device. So any of these files I can take out of the Apple iCloud and put down onto my local device. I can take things from my local device and put it in my iCloud Drive. Again, just like Dropbox. I got Dropbox up here too. I'm going to dig a little deeper into what these things are, but just kind of showing you the fact that the main point here is I can get to this iCloud Drive lots of different ways. So this is how I would get to it from my Windows device. If I wanted to go and grab a document from this folder, I could just go into here and grab this document and open it, or download it to my local device if I wanted to download it. So lots of ways I can get access.
Can I ask you how you got to that page again? Because I'm not seeing it.
Are you on a Windows device?
Yes, I'm on my iPad trying to follow along.
Well, iPad's not a Windows.
Oh.
Microsoft.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's why. Okay.
Yeah. It's only if you're on a Microsoft Windows device.
Okay.
So that's the first one, File Explorer on Windows. The most flexible one is to just go to any device that has a browser. It'll let you go to the internet. You just go to open up the browser, and this could be my computer at home, or it could be me on my friend's computer, or me at the hotel, and just type iCloud. And then I have to log in using my Apple ID. That's the security part, so that no one else can get into my cloud except for me. I put in my username and my password using my password manager. And this should look familiar. This looks a little bit like the slide we were just looking at. So this is actually showing me all of iCloud. So I can get to my contacts from the cloud. So if I store my contacts in Apple and I need to see something, if I've shared that app to iCloud, that's why I would share my apps over here. I can get to my contacts. I can add a new contact. I can delete a contact. I can do anything I want to do working with those contacts. I got my calendar. I got my email. Here's my iCloud Drive. And that's basically the piece that we're talking about there. And again, if you use numbers and pages and Keynote, anytime you create something, it stores it in iCloud Drive. Just like if you're a Microsoft person, if you use Word, Excel, or PowerPoint, it stores it in OneDrive. Apple stores it in iCloud Drive. So it's naturally where Apple puts files. I can double click here and open this up. And let me go back over here. And you see it looks just like what I had when I was looking at it from my Windows PC, BCC files, downloads, GSU class folder, keynote numbers. So it's the same, I'm accessing the same thing because both of these devices are pulling this out of the cloud.
Do you have to sync those up or does it happen automatically?
I have to do what?
You have to
You're breaking up, Amy. Try one more time.
Do you have to sync that to the drive or does it happen automatically?
It syncs automatically. You don't have to do anything to make that go there.
Okay.
Now you can automatically add and delete things from here because these things happen automatically. But this BCC files, BCC is Brunswick Community College. That's where I teach a class. Let me mute. We're picking up a little bit of background noise again.
So this is
unmute and repeat your question, Marilyn. I think somebody was trying to ask a question just as I muted.
So iCloud Drive is basically the sync function.
It is syncing, yes. Everything except the backup we talked about, the first is syncing.
Okay.
So that's why if I go into this folder, and this has Microsoft stuff in here. So I can put anything in my iCloud Drive. It's not just for Apple stuff. So I've got some Word documents, some Excel documents. I got a PDF in here. So you can, just like Dropbox, you can put anything in Dropbox. If you're familiar with Dropbox, I can put anything in iCloud Drive. If I wanted to take something off of here and download it to this device I'm working on, I can just click here and download it. If there's something on the device I'm working on that I want to put into the cloud, I can click this upload. It'll take me down to my PC. And if there's something in my documents folder on this PC that I want to put into iCloud, I can just pick that and say open. And here it is. We just uploaded that into my iCloud. So it's just a general place where you can store files wherever you had them. I can create a new folder, move things into the new folders. I can delete things. Pretty much anything I want to do, I can do from here using a browser, not an Apple device.
When I click on my iCloud Drive, it only comes up with like documents that I've saved under pages, or there's a lot of PDF documents that I've saved. I think they're all probably under pages. That's the only thing that I have that comes up.
Yep, that's all you've put in there. So, I mean, you could put other stuff. I created these files. They weren't there. This one, like this is BCC, is Brunswick Community College. That's where I work. This is the GetSetup class folder. So if I want to add a new folder, you just click here, and then here's the.
Oh, okay.
And there's a new folder, and now I can drag things into that new folder I just created.
So you name the folder right then?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then you just. So how do you move things into that folder like on an iPhone?
You can move. It's a little different depending on where you are, how you can move things around, but yeah. And it's a little deeper than I.
Do you have to download iCloud? I don't have an icon on my phone that's showing iCloud Drive.
We'll get there. Yeah, you've got it, but you won't recognize it till we get there.
Okay.
So let's move on. I think, does everybody kind of get?
Just a minute. Would you click at your download folder? Okay, you don't have anything. Okay, now my question is, if you have something in your download folder and it's like an application to install an app on your computer, if you delete that program, does the app stay on your folder, or do you lose it?
Oh, the app would stay on the folder. It wouldn't delete an app. It would just delete that file.
Oh, just delete the way that got there.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Whew.
Yeah, this gets a little more confusing. Let's go one more place, and I'm trying to keep an eye on the time here, because somebody's already talked about the phone. This is again where I complain about how Apple labels things. On your phone, you have something called files. It looks like this.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And if you look at it, these are those same folders. In fact, here's that iCloud class folder I just created. It's on my phone already. So again, files on your phone is iCloud. In fact, when you open it, it says iCloud Drive. But when you're looking at the app, it says files. I don't know why they don't name it iCloud Drive, but they don't. It's called files. But if you open iFiles, it is your iCloud Drive.
Okay.
So I could get to those same, I could go into VCC files and see all the same files that I was looking at.
I have a
Okay.
In fact, here's the one I uploaded, iPhone Basics. That's that file. From here, I could download that to my phone. If I wanted to put this file on my phone, I would just click that download and it would move that down to my phone.
Are you saying if you click?
I don't know. I see files on my, I'm trying to do 2 on my iPad, but I don't see it on my phone unless I've taken it off.
I don't either.
You may have taken it off, and I'll show you a trick how you can find it. Go back out to your home screen.
Yes.
And just put your finger on there and pull down. And do you see something that looks like this?
Oh, wait a minute. What am I looking at? The little dashes or something?
So I'm gonna put my finger on the phone.
Yes.
And just slide down. And it takes me to a search window.
Okay.
Then type FI and files will be right there, unless you've deleted it.
FI?
Uh-huh. You start spelling files, but you only need to put the first 2 letters.
I probably deleted
can't
it.
find it there. We'll have to hold, and after class, I'll see if I can, at the end of class, I can maybe help you with it.
Okay, thank you.
I'll leave that up here so you can see it while we move on.
Okay.
We're just about out of time, and there's a couple other things I want to do. Well, we're into, we did File Explorer already. So I think we've touched on all of these. So basically what you can do from iCloud Drive is you can access and update files, you can upload documents, you can create folders, you can email things, download files. So that we kind of talked about all the things you can do in iCloud Drive, whether you're doing it from the cloud, from your iPhone, from your Windows device, it does the same thing. And here's accessing it from your iPhone. So the last thing we're going to talk about is briefly photos. And again, understand there's a whole class to do photos, but let's go in and I'll show you how to enable photos and kind of give you the general topics here. And then if you want to dig down deeper, you can do that. So we're going to have to go back into the same place we were, settings, click your name, go to iCloud, and we've already seen this one several times. It's at the top of the list. Everybody with me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tap photos. So this is how you turn it on and off. If this is gray, that means all of your photos are stored on your phone and they're taking up lots of space. So that's probably, photos is the main thing that drove Apple to do iCloud, because a lot of people kept running out of space on their iPhones with all the photos and needed some way to deal with it. You've got 2 storage options, and this is where it starts to get confusing with the pictures. You can download and keep the originals, and that's what I'm doing because I've got space on my phone. So, and if you remember when we looked at the space on my phone, photos were taking up a good bit of space. Now, if you start to run out of space, what you can do is you can optimize phone storage. just by clicking the check mark up here. And basically it says, if your phone is low on space, full resolution photos and videos are automatically replaced by smaller device size versions. So what it's doing, let me see. Back to a picture, I should have one down here. So they're always in the cloud. And the way I have mine, it's in the cloud and it's on my phone. Still, if I delete it from my phone, it's going to delete it from the cloud. That doesn't change. I'm still syncing, but I've got a copy on my phone. One reason I do that is because I got space. Another reason is that if it's on my phone and I don't have Wi-Fi access, I can still access my full original pictures. If I've optimized phone storage, my full original size is in the cloud, but on my phone, there's a smaller device size version. So it's a lower resolution version of the picture on your phone to save space. And it's much, much smaller.
Now, would you have to do that on every device you had? Like iPad would do the same thing. You can either keep it either way.
Yeah, this setting you can pick per device. So I can have one be optimized and one be keeping originals. So it doesn't change it on all your devices. It changes it just on that one device.
I have upload to my photo stream as a choice. What would that be?
Photo stream is another way to share pictures. And again, I'm going to defer to the person in the iCloud Photos class. I know that photo stream exists. I don't know what it is. I don't have it on my iPhone. So again, this is where I'm at the margin of my knowledge. Someone that knows a lot more than I do is teaching this iCloud Photos class. So pretty much anything beyond this is beyond my skill level.
Okay, so I have my iCloud Photos off because I have like thousands of photos that on my computer that I just don't, need to have it everywhere. And that means that none of my photos are on the cloud unless I specifically put that particular picture in the iCloud, right?
Well, if you've got this turned off, you don't have iCloud Photos, so you can't put anything
right.
in the
but
cloud.
If I turned it on, could I just put specific photos?
No, it's going to sync everything. Just remember, this is syncing.
So it's all photos or none?
Yes. To my knowledge, ask the person teaching the iCloud Photos class, but to my knowledge, it's all or nothing.
Okay. That's why I have it off.
I mean, they put it there so if you want to be able to get to, so like all the pictures on my phone, I can get to from my Windows computer just by going to my iCloud Photos. So I can get to all my iCloud photos. All the photos on my phone are on my computer. I take a picture, it's in here 2 seconds later. So that's something I want to do, but if you want to keep it so that they're just on your iPad or whatever device, that's why Apple gives you the choice of turning all these different functions and features on individually.
I see.
Turn on whichever parts of iCloud. Again, back to this picture, you can turn these bits and pieces on. You can have this on, this off, these two on, this one off, not use this. You pick and choose what parts of iCloud you want to use based on your desires and your situation.
And I ran into another problem where when you have your bookmarks syncing over all devices, where would those be?
Well, they would be in the cloud. If you've got that in the cloud, they would all be using the same version in the cloud.
So is there a place for bookmarks, or would that just be Safari?
I'm not sure when you're saying bookmarks. Is it bookmarks in a
like on Safari? You bookmark
that's just
a
in
page.
Safari, so that's not part of iCloud.
Okay, so bookmarks is not iCloud.
I take that back. You probably could share your bookmarks through iCloud if you had Safari on your iPad and Safari on your phone, and you wanted to have the same bookmarks both places.
Okay.
Let me go back one level. Let's see if Safari is, oh yeah, see it is here. So you could do it either way. If you wanted to be able to share bookmarks between your iPhone and your iPad that are both using Safari, that's probably how you would do that. It would have, and I don't have an iPhone, so I'm speculating here a little bit.
Okay.
If you're backing up, is it syncing at the same time?
No, backup and syncing is totally separate.
So does the syncing happen just automatically then?
It happens automatically. If you've got this turned on, this is basically saying sync. So if I've got notes turned on, if I enter a note on my phone, I can get to it from my iPhone, from my Windows computer.
So it's real time then?
Real time, because you notice, you know, I made that change in my browser. I added a new folder, and we saw it immediately on my phone.
Yes. Okay, yeah, okay.
As we got here, there's that folder we added. It's several seconds, but you know, you would see it within less than a minute.
How do I get to my photos? Is somebody else asking them?
Yeah, hang on a second. Let me mute. We're picking up some background noise. Sound like, go ahead, Marilyn, and unmute and ask your question again.
Is how do I get to photos from my computer, from my laptop?
Is it a Windows laptop?
No, it's a Mac. I mean, do I go to iCloud.com?
You can definitely go to iCloud.com. You should be able to get to them from File. What's it called? File Finder.
Oh, Finder.
I don't have a Mac, so I can't answer the question.
Yes, it's Finder.
File Finder. Okay. Yep. So you shouldn't have to go to the browser. You should be able to get it directly from your Mac.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
You can go to a browser and get it that way as well. Oh, okay, so we need to go ahead and close. I let time slip away from me. It's 3 minutes from the bottom of the hour. And okay, I was just checking. I've been trying to keep an eye on the chat. So hopefully I got all the questions answered from the chat as well. There's always a question about which cloud service is best. And, you know, there's not a best. It really depends on your situation, you know, what you're using. Are you primarily Apple, primarily Microsoft with just an iPhone? What are you doing? So there's lots of different ways. And a lot of people end up being like me, where I'm using all of them. I've got OneDrive, I've got iCloud, I've got Dropbox, I've got Google Drive. I use all four of them. You don't have to pick one or the other. All right, so let's go to closing quickly. I'm going to run over time a little bit. Let me try and get through this as fast as I can. Sorry about running late here. GetSetup's mission is to create economic opportunity for seniors and help seniors learn tools and skills needed to stay connected and live a healthy life. I mentioned that the session was being recorded, and this is probably one that you might want to go back and look at again. You can request a copy of that recording by sending an email to help@getsetup.io. Write this down if you're new and don't have this already on your email. help@getsetup.io. Be sure and give the class name and the date attended. Just say you want a copy of the recording of the iCloud class from February 11th, and they will confirm that you were in the class and send you an email with a link to that recording. There'll also be an email coming out after class. It has several sections. It'll be a way to refer the class to a friend. You can send the link to the next time it's going to be offered to a friend. There'll be some key takeaways, which are some notes, as well as links to one or more websites that will review some of the same material covered in class, as well as present some additional material. There'll be links to 3 other classes that you can just, if these look interesting, you click that link in the email. It will take you directly to our websites and the registration page for that class. So this is just a shortcut to sign up for those classes. There's a give feedback link. You click that to go to our feedback page. You can rate the class 1 to 5 stars, rate the guide 1 to 5 stars, and then hit done is all you have to do, 3 clicks. We certainly hope you'll take a couple more minutes and add some comments explaining why you gave those star ratings. Comments are not required, but they're greatly appreciated. And then a general feedback section at the bottom. And then the last link in the email, well, if you don't get the email, send an email to help@getsetup.io. Tell them I never got the email for the iCloud class on February 11th. They'll get back in touch with you to figure out what happened. You remember to check your spam folder first. That's one of the first places we usually find them, but they'll help figure out what's going on and get you a copy of that email you missed. So the last link in the email is to view schedule. That will take you to our website where you can book another class. 3 ways to book a class. You can do it by schedule. So if you know you've got some time Monday morning and you want to see what we're teaching Monday morning, you can go straight to the schedule for Monday. And if there's something you're interested in, iCloud Photos Basics, there's the class right there that Scott teaches. So this is the digging deep into iCloud Photos. And that's available February 15th at 11 a.m. That's Eastern time. You can also look for classes by category. We've categorized all our classes because we got well over 200 classes. But if you're looking in classes related to, let's say, health and wellness, click here and it'll show you health and wellness classes. And you can see there's a lot of them. If you're looking for more tech classes, they're over here under technology. If you know what you're looking for, easiest way to find it is to go to the search and put in a keyword. So again, I can put in iCloud again, and it'll show me the class we just took, as well as the iCloud Photos class. So again, I could click here to go and register for that iCloud Photos class. Okay, I ran over by 2 minutes. I apologize for that, but I do want to thank you for attending the class. I hope you enjoyed the class and learned more about iCloud. It's confusing, it's a tough topic, but hopefully you know more about it now than you did. Hope I see you again in another class really soon, and everybody have a wonderful afternoon. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.